Sometimes it's really good when a car doesn't change. That's the Volvo XC60. On the outside, it is remaining one of the prettiest looking compact luxury SUVs, and Volvo still keeps it competitive, continuously updating the technology, refining the interior colors, and keeping all of the quality and the safety that Volvo is known for. Let's go for a drive in this 2026 Ultra trim. If you can believe it, Volvo's only made 2 generations of the XC60 since the 2009 model year. This one has been around for almost a full decade. Though it was a mild refresh for 2025, the XC60 is continuing in both its philosophy and its design, and it's doing it really well against the current set of competitors. For 2026, there are some subtle exterior changes after a 2025 refresh. The front grille, a little larger, and there's now a new diagonal pattern. One going this way, one going the opposite way, intersecting that Volvo crossbar. The headlights, those are still the same, that Thor's Hammer LED that's very distinctive on a Volvo, very bright lights as well. There's also some darkening around the rear taillights, which as we all know, Honda has copied that for years with the CR-V. Lots of people did that. Volvo did that first, the way they arc up and curve around the shoulder line on this car. This is really fantastic design. And on this trim, it's the Ultra with optional 22-inch wheels. They're absolutely massive, and it's also dropped. This XC60 is bagged on all 4 corners, and it drops when you park it, raises in off-road mode. This is not really an off-road car. And it looks so much sportier than it actually drives, but every bit of character that's on here, the crispness of the shoulder that Volvo has had since the S80 sedan in late 1999, this car is truly good design. It used to be only the XC60 and the Audi Q5 were always stalwarts of excellent exterior design that aged really well. Now look at the Q5, look at the new X3 or a GLC. None of them are as elegant as this Volvo, and in any trim, you're going to look good. Also new for 2026 is this color. It's called Forest Lake. Looks really good with all of the black window trim around it. Again, the XC60 is just a dynamite design, and I really hope that Volvo doesn't change it much when it goes into the 3rd generation. This interior is inviting. Now you can get it in a black cloth, which I do like, but this is full leather and it just looks so pretty with the light wood, and these seats are so comfortable. That's the thing about Volvo seats. Always been very, very supportive over long drives. The interior has not changed that much, nor does it really need to. Yes, the central screen now sticks out. That's the one part I don't like about it. But this crystal shift knob, the way the wood in that white color just arches over the dashboard, the stitching, the 2-tone steering wheel, the Bowers & Wilkins speaker grills. This car really screams. Well, it actually doesn't. This Volvo isn't garish, and thankfully it's not like the new EX60, the electric one, which minimizes all the physical controls even more. The fact that some of these controls are just in this touchscreen is a little bit of an issue, but it doesn't detract from the quality and the execution of this interior. Just like the front, the back seats are sculpted. They're not just flat, including on the seat backs, and I like that a lot. There's even quad zone climate control on this Ultra trim, which is kind of overkill in a small SUV like this, but with the roof, the colorways, it's really nice back here. And everything is also really soft. The only thing that aren't, these seat backs, I think that could be better. Some lower plastic here, but even down here, that's padded. That's the Volvo way, that's safety, and it's also quality. Cargo space is average for the class when the rear seats are folded, just over 63. A unique feature that you won't find in other SUVs in this class is the air suspension, and you can drop it or raise it. You need to raise it having the ignition on. The fact you can have that, that's a Land Rover style feature that you would not expect on a Volvo. You gotta drive the XC60 like a Volvo of much older years. By that, I mean very gingerly, without any prods in the throttle, nothing. This engine is really not the issue. It's a 2-liter inline-4, competitive in the class, 247 horsepower, 266 pound-feet of torque, 8-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive. That's all great. The power delivery is kind of uneven and it surges. That's because the programming here is really at fault. There's no sport driving mode, not even in the touchscreen. The only thing you can adjust is the steering feel to make it a little firmer, or the suspension dampeners, which also go from a softer to a firmer ride. Those are good. Those are good features. but there's no paddle shifters, there's not a separate sport mode for the transmission. So when you actually want to move, not only do you get a pretty big hesitation, it throws you back and then it jerks you around. And off the line, it does something very similar. It's almost like the turbo is waiting to spool up. It's just that the car is asleep. I've been in Mercedes-Benzes, and yeah, the E mode or the comfort mode, they act very similar, but there's an easy way to fix that. Volvo has removed all of the driving modes. I don't understand why. There's an off-road mode. I like that. And that will raise the air suspension if you have it so equipped. That's a really good thing. But just to have a slightly sportier driving experience, you're just not going to have it. Volvo has also taken away from past model years of this XC60 the next engine choice. They called it the B6. It had around 300 horsepower. This is called B5, so this is the only option you can get unless you're getting the plug-in hybrid. Now that one definitely has the power, over 450 horsepower and over 500 foot-pounds of torque. So really good. I haven't tested one in years, so I couldn't say what the drive modes are there on that car, but on previous model years, they definitely responded well. Just be aware, if you want any sort of performance from your luxury SUV, Volvo was never the first choice, I get that. But the fact is they've removed some of the functionality and the performance that was there before. So I don't think that needed to happen, and I'm a little concerned what Volvo is doing here. These aren't really major faults. They can be addressed in a software update, and they don't require a major rethink. The handling is good, I will say that. Four-corner air suspension is optional on this Ultra trim. It doesn't really do anything to ride quality, to be honest. It is responsive. Road noise is pretty damped, and these seats are just ultra comfortable around turns, everything. Now, the XC60 handles pretty well in the air suspension. I don't really think it adds anything other than having a nice option to adjust the ride height when you're in the off-road mode, which you're not going to take because these are on 22-inch wheels. Way too nice for that. So I don't really think the air springs do anything aside from looking cool when you're parked. It's easier to get in and out because it drops it. But in reality, I just say stick with the regular suspension setup. And the regular suspension setup is pretty good. Double wishbone front. And oddly, it's actually using a composite leaf spring in the rear. I was not expecting to see that on the spec list. But handling is not what the Volvo XC60 is all about. There is a Polestar engineered trim that you can get on the plug-in hybrid, and that's got special dampers from Öhlins that you can manually adjust. Pretty crazy. So no one really buys that Volvo, but it exists. And the chassis is good, but it's just, it's a nice, comfortable car the way Volvos have always been. Light steering, again, you can firm it up. It's a pleasant car to drive. It just needs a retune for the throttle programming. That's all it does. Throttle programming and transmission. And that's just software. And I just wish that Volvo would add back what they already had before, which was great. Perhaps one benefit of that lazier transmission and throttle programming is the fuel efficiency. Every XC60, except for the plug-in hybrids, of course, comes as a mild hybrid using a 48-volt battery. That does take a lot of load off the engine, other accessories, and by doing so, 23 mpg city is the EPA's rating, 30 highway, and 26 combined. I will say, if you want a really smooth ride, even with the air suspension, drop the wheel size. These 22s look so pretty, but the ride does get a bit flinty over some rough surfaces. Again, looks great, but you can go smaller and still look amazing in this car. Thankfully, the brake pedal feel is exactly the opposite as the throttle pedal. When you're touching it, it engages nice and progressively, just as you want it, with a nice firm bite. The XC60 now has this 11.2-inch screen, which replaces the 9-inch from before, and it's sticking out. I don't like the integration of this anymore. This also is a bit distracting. See how this just animates while you're driving? Not really a great thing. But when you come in here while you're parked, this is where things get nice and easy. And this is where you cannot adjust, as I said before, while driving. any of the driving modes because they don't exist here. There's also a lot fewer options to actually change how the safety aids actually perform. If you want distance control for, say, forward collision alerts and brakings, you can't adjust that anymore. Volvo used to be really good with doing that. However, the stereo is good. It's a Bowers & Wilkins system. You can adjust the tone and equalizer here, but also confusingly, this wasn't like this before. You have to go back in here and go into the Bowers & Wilkins app. And this does take a little while, but once you come in here, that's where you can actually, to this one, change the listening modes and the individual stage. This is where Volvo was always really good before, but this is separate from the regular apps, right? So coming here, you have your different user interfaces. All the climate controls are here. Again, they were always like this, but you have to switch front to rear, okay. This is better than what's in the electric Volvos right now, like the EX60, EX30. I'll give it that. You can also see the air quality and get a whole full report. That's pretty wild. Juniper and maple and oak and pine and ragweed, if you want to know how that is. Else, when you're really on the home screen, this is really what you're looking at for the most part, or here. When you go into the radio, for example, again, this has always been like this in Volvos for the last 10 years, this central knob, but I really don't think that this is really useful real estate, and I just don't like how this looks anymore. So that's really the main thing. It's good, it's crisp, it's clear. The cameras are also excellent. We'll say that, nice and bright, 360-degree views. So that's really nice, right? We don't need to do that. There's no need to change anything there. It's got Google Maps, all that good stuff. I just wish that there were some more manual controls. So if you don't mind that and you get used to this system, especially these animations, well, it's fine. But this is my least favorite part about the XC60. The instrument panel, well, it doesn't do much. It's either blank or you see the trip computer. You can see what you're on for cruise control, for example, between pilot assist or just regular adaptive cruise, and you can see maps. That is it. For a fully digital car, I would have expected more here. The 2026 Volvo XC60 starts around $51,000. There's 3 mild hybrid trims and there's 4 plug-in hybrid trims. As tested with Destination, this hybrid ultra with options, and a lot of them, $69,000. Direct competitors include the Audi Q5, BMW X3, Genesis GV70, and a whole lot more. After so long on the market in this generation, ordinarily we would say, Volvo, we need a brand new car. But I don't think that's necessary. They've made continuous improvements to a design that's already so fundamentally good. The quality of the interior, just the way the seats look and envelop you. The technology has been updated over time. That part and the performance are not my favorite elements in the compact luxury class, but the XC60 is really a constant force, and I don't think that Volvo needs to change it, nor should they. What do you think, and what compact luxury SUV are you in the market for? Go to CarGurus.com, subscribe to our YouTube channel for all of our video reviews, and we'll see you next time.